Oh boy. Okay, so I did a little bit of damage. You guys saw that wipeout. No bumper left. I do have a new one coming. It's red, but you know what? I'm going to just spray paint it again. Everybody asked me what kind of paint that I used on here. Honest to God, it's just a spray bomb. You know, Americans don't know what spray bombs mean. Some of them don't. All it is just a spray can. I just gave it a light sanding and just sprayed it with paint, and that's it. I kind of like that beat up look. Everybody says I'm a hack, but I kind of like that look, you know what I'm saying? But I've done a lot of riding with this in the last little while, so I'm going to check out the plugs, see how they're looking. I had the computer ECM or the MPEM recurved. Good God, that was tight. Had it recurved, and you know, I'm running 32:1 Syntrax oil in it. Syntrax from Coastal Blending and Packaging, Irving Oils. Well, it's not too bad. A little wet, but I just started it up. I might back off a little bit on the oil. I just kind of wanted a bit of a feeling as to what's going on. You should always check both plugs. Make sure one's not running leaner than the other. If they are, you could have an issue somewhere. Weak spark, maybe a lean condition, maybe a hole in a intake boot or something. That one's the exact same. You want both plugs looking the same, so that is a little dirty. I'm going to clean those up a little bit. Before I do anything, I'm going to check the compression. I put a new cylinder, actually no, I put a new piston in it, so I want to see how it's holding up. Okay, so with that crappy seal.
You went up to 130.
Okay. So 130. I've got a bad seal on here. I don't have an O-ring on it. It broke, so just had to jimmy something up. So about 130. Yep. See what the other one's like. There we go. Around the same? Good. Okay. As long as they're both around the same, I'm pretty happy. Or pretty brappy. Right on. So, I changed out the wiring harness on this. I got a wiring harness out of an 800 Summit. Why did I do that?
Gauges, maybe? The gauges?
Yeah. It had DPM. So I put a different wiring harness, different MPEM in it. It was out of a Summit. Had it recurved, but it didn't come with a functioning DPM. That's just your altitude compensating device. It adjusts your mixture as you go up. So this one was kind of euchred, so I just got one on eBay. And I'm gonna put that back into it because I just want it running right. That's a little loose. Adjust that too. Where are you? There's the old one. Bobbing around in there. That's not good. So I'm going to pop the clutch off and pop the airbox out. Yeah, keep that light there. Now hopefully my carbs will have the little plugged off DPM holes in them. Most carbs do. And that's my big screwdriver. For getting in here at my carbs. Just gonna pop that other side open so I have a little bit of light. There we go. Now this air box is out of an 07 Summit. That was the word I heard. Flows a little better. So I bought that, put it on. Don't really know if it does much, but I just keep making changes. All right, here we go. So you can see there, right on. So these two little hoses here go to the upper vents here. One there and one there. Those two. And this little T here actually goes down on here. There are two caps. And that's what sets up the pressure in your bowl, I guess. Don't know much about that, but that makes sense. So I've got to pop off the top caps, pop off the bottom, put those in. Watch out for 1 second or something. Just gotta take a look. Well, there's the cap off the bottom. Pour it on the carb. Grab these here. Here's the other one. Pop that off. Clamps. Yeah, that's good. Okay, now that's the old one that comes off. This usually just goes right to your air box. But now, or your air intake, sorry. Now these little guys goes there. There. Sweet. Now this upper one, I've seen them vented just to inside your machine into the engine housing, but that might throw off your temps. You know, I don't know if that has a real effect on anything, so I'm going to route it to this air box anyway. For that, I have another line. This plugs back in there, one here. If you're running your sled and you're getting an erratic spark, check the top of your plugs. If there's a whole bunch of carbon dust in there, in and around, you might feel that your cap is really loose. And what happens is, inside the cap, the thing that holds your top of your spark plug here, it gets loose over the years, and then it gets screwed up, and then it won't make a good contact, and you'll have a poor spark. And then these will be coming out, these cylinders, heads, everything, and the RK Tech 827 kit's going in, hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Just in time to go play in the mountains of Gaspé, Quebec. Should be fun. There we go. So that's in there, you're plugged in. So I've got this new hose. I'm gonna keep you up on top. I rebuilt my first Land Cruiser with a screwdriver and a pair of vice grips when I was 16. That's where I learned all my bad habits. Okay, so that's good. You're tight. That's good. I think that's it that I wanted to do inside here. Yeah, let's put that air box back in. There we go. Plug back on. gotta watch when you're putting these air boxes on, that they actually, both sides go in and fit the way they're supposed to. Could you shine that light in there, please? I can't see the far one. Does it look like it's on?
I can't see it either.
Okay.
Hold on.
Let me see. Just pull it back out. Yes, it's on. One thing you can do is sometimes the carbs start to sag a little bit in the boot, and it's hard to get that on. So I just take a screwdriver, just do one of these, it just pops your carbs up a little bit. Then it helps you get that seated. Tighten this and work my way in. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to take that one hose that I took off and these little caps off the bottom of the carbs, and I'm going to bring them in my bag for my run tomorrow, because if something just doesn't work out right, I'm going to swap that stuff back in on the trail. Remind me to bring that clutch tool. Now, somebody asked me, because I mentioned in another video about floating clutches. Well, I'll tell you what it is. I'm going to show you, actually. I'm running this Team Secondary clutch on here. Most old school clutches don't really have any room to move. They're more or less fixed solid, so if you don't align your clutches properly, you're going to have issues. They're going to heat up, they're going to wear down, they're going to blow on you, and you don't want any of that to happen. But a lot of newer sleds have floating clutches, which just means that they just have that little bit of movement in there. I didn't tighten this up yet. It'll actually be less when I'm done. What that does is it allows the belt to more or less align itself. It has a little bit of play in there, aligns itself, rock and roll, belt lasts longer. So that's why I did that. Now, how you do that? Dependent on what type of clutch it is, what type of sled it is. You can check with Team Aftermarket, SLP. Some of them have more or less a floating clutch kit, and there are other ones out there as well. And I highly recommend it. It's a great thing to have. Now, when you put your belt on, I always tell you this. Make sure you can read the writing. I always use Ultimax XS belts. People ask me if I have issues with them. I don't. I have blown them. I've blown all kinds of belts. And that's just kind of the way it goes when you're sledding. If you're hard on it, you blow belts. If your clutches aren't aligned, things aren't set up properly, you'll blow belts. Just wonder how loose that belt is. It's hard to say. A lot of it's this. The brake rotors become so loose. Look how loose that is. That's a keyed shaft for the brake rotor, and they just get like that. Jaws is building me a nice new can going on Wednesday. I don't know what kind of can that is. It's some kind of aftermarket thing. Don't know if it really works the way it should, so that's why I'm working with my guys at Jaws, because they know how to make cans. All right, so that's back together, that's hooked up. This stuff is here. I'm going to put this tool that I always lose, this tool, clutch tool, going in my bag. Remember that, everybody. When I ask you where it is, you'll know. Spark plug tool. Right on. I'm always carrying all kinds of things I don't need to. Got a spare coil. You know, there's 2 revs in the group between Keely and I. Gorilla tape, awesome stuff. All right. I don't Don't need this because I do have a plug wrench. I can ditch those. Using the 509 polarized aviators. Very nice, awesome goggles. I'll talk about those a little bit more in another video. Put this on here. That's that. I wanted to loosen the, where did I just put that? I want to loosen the preload on that front spring. I tightened that up for the race last year and I haven't loosened it off. It's just too tight. My whole suspension doesn't move at all. It's probably tightened right there. I'm going to back that off. Come on. That tighten? That's tighten. Loosen. There we go. I mean, I really cranked it up. Now, suspensions are a funny thing. It won't work for you if you don't play with them, which isn't really that funny, but everybody is different. And generally speaking, a suspension is set up for the average rider at about 175, 180 pounds on the trail kind of thing. So you want to get out and experiment with your suspension for different types of riding, whether it's trail or powder. I'm going to see what that's like. Might come off a little more. I didn't damage my pipe the other day. I've got a new bumper coming in, that red one. Fix that up when it's in. And that's just about it. My little vent came off here. I poked that by accident. Get that on there. She's seen a little abuse. These aren't hanger queens. These are not garage queens. These things get out and get ridden. Pretty hard. Get ridden by guys who don't know how to ride. Mainly me. But I have fun. Have fun while I'm doing it. That's all that counts. I'm going to buy some powder pre-filter material. Pre-filter, what do they call it? From SLP. They have a whole sheet of it. It's a massive sheet. I'm going to get that in because this stuff works, but it doesn't keep all the powder out. It doesn't work well enough. There we go. You know what I'm going to do? Oh, that'll be good. Everybody asks about this mod that I made right here, lowering the controls down on the handlebars if it binds up anywhere, and you can see it doesn't. Turn this key, no problem. Works well. And that's it. Make sure you use your Gasline antifreeze. Make sure you use a high quality oil. Everybody asks what kind of oil I'm using this year. This is what I'm using. Irving Syntrax 2-stroke, 100% synthetic oil. Smells like vanilla. If you want to wash your hands in it. We're using this. It's good stuff. Used it for years at the camp, running it in all our 2-stroke tools. They're very good to us. And that's it. I gotta thank you guys for coming back. Make sure you stick around. We have some cool videos coming out. Cool riding tomorrow. Probably going to break something like we usually do. Hopefully I don't hurt myself. Thanks for watching.